welcome to episode 2 of building my first model railway. This week I've had my model railway plans turned upside down by an introduction of DCC. And as you can see in front of you, alongside my lovely new Vector DC controller, I now have a Bachmann DCC controller. This all started when I went to a model railway show, a local show recently. And up till then, I was definitely going to just stick with DC. Simple, easy, know how it works, generally. And that was where I was going to go. All my old locos would run on DC, so it's perfect. And then I went to this model railway show and saw DCC in operation. And I'll put a little video clip in here, and you can see a little layout with DCC sound running. And I was blown away. I thought that the sound really brought the railway to life. And then I thought, I really need to look at this DCC thing. So I went home, did some research on the internet and looked at the cheapest way I could just have a try out with DCC. And I came up with this Bachmann set. So this set I actually bought was this one, the Bachmann Whiskies Galore DCC sound train set. I got it from TMC Model Centre, and it was £263, I think. It's on offer, which is a lot of money, but I do think actually, given that sort of a lot of DCC sound locomotives from Bachmann can cost over £250 on their own, and this set not only comes with the Class 20 locomotive, it also, as you can see on the side here, has 3 bulk grain wagons, a brake van, also the controller that you saw over here, the basic EZ command controller, and also quite a bit of track as well. So a little track down there, so you can see you get a basic set of track. So actually, to get all of that for £263, I thought was very good. You know, and the track, although my track's Hornby, looking at the Bachmann track is made in China, and it looks like pretty much identical, to be honest, probably made in the same factory. So I can actually reuse some of the track on my layout when I extend it, or should I say if I extend it. So I did have a look at some reviews on the EZ command controller online, and they're pretty good. I mean, it's a basic introductory DCC controller, but that's what I wanted. I just wanted to try out and see, do I actually like it as much as I think I might, having seen it at the show, and just to give it a run, and does it work on my track as well, I suppose, is the other question, because I know it's different. You know, it's an AC supply, so I don't know with the feeds I've got whether it'll actually work on the track as well. So I thought it's a good way of not having to spend too much money, but being able to try it out at home. So there's the train set all set up on my layout, and I've plugged in my DCC Bachmann controller, and I've just swapped the wires over. It did have a plug like the Hornby prong that goes under the track, but I cut that off, and I've just wired it using just a wiring block straight into the feed to the outer line of the track, and it's set up, plugged in, and ready to give the loco a run. So I'm just going to turn the power up, and the first thing I notice is the movement is incredibly smooth and slow, and actually the quiet. I can't really hear the engine at the moment. Obviously I've got the DCC sound on, but I can't hear the motor at all really. I'll just go back again. Yeah, it's just amazingly smooth compared to obviously my old DCC controls, and also even my new Terrier that runs quite nicely, but not like this. What I'd say is it has like a freewheeling effect. So I'll turn the controller on like that, and I've turned it off now, but look, it's still running. So it takes a little while to slow down. It's a lot more realistic, a lot more realistic. Right, so if I put the sound on, so I think it's function 1, hopefully this is going to work, and hopefully you'll hear it. It's starting up now. Yeah, that sounds pretty fantastic, doesn't it? So I'll try some of the controls. I think this is a horn. And another horn. Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Don't know what 5 is. Not very much. Let's put the revs up then and see if it, how it sounds when it goes. Hasn't even moved it, and just turn them up. That's brilliant. Just bring it back. That does sound. And again, the freewheeling is incredible. Oh, I think I've coupled up to the train by accident. So we're all coupled up. Shall we give it a little run around the track and see how it goes? It's quite slow to accelerate compared to, and it's on full power now. Don't know how well you can hear it because I've got the microphone next to me. I've got it up on full power. The run is so smooth. Back off. That's on 0 power now, so you can see the engine's gone to an idle. Look how slowly. You really do have to plan ahead. And I turned that off at halfway around my track and it's still coasting now. And it's just coming to a stop. There. Reverse it back. Give it a little toot. That sound is just wonderful with the engine. I'm really impressed for the budget DCC set. Yeah, it's brilliant. I do love it. I'm a bit scared because I think I could end up spending a lot of money on these locomotives. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do now with my plans for the DCC. Now I've got my new Morley controller. You can see. It's going to idle if I took the sound off. Press the button again. I like the way it just dies down nice and slowly. Yeah, that is that's really impressive. What am I going to do now? Going to have a real think about what I'm going to do with my layout now going forward. and how much can I afford as far as DC sound locomotives, because they are really expensive. So I thought I'd finish the video, give you some feedback on my thoughts on the Bachmann train set and DCC and DCC sound. So firstly, the train set and the locomotive and rolling stock. As you see, the actual locomotive runs really well, sounds brilliant, really pleased with that. I haven't really got a comparison because it's my first DCC sound, but certainly I'm very impressed with it. The detail on the locomotive itself, it's got sprung loaded buffers at the front. You see it's got a nice paint finish with the axle ends are finished. It's got a nice metal handrail all the way around, a little fan, and you can actually see the fan inside it. So yeah, the locomotive I'm pretty impressed with. It's quite weighty as well, even compared to some old locomotives. You can definitely feel the weight in it. And the wagons themselves, the wagons are fairly basic, just printed and moulded, but you know, they still look pretty good. And the brake van itself, that's actually quite impressive, a lot of detail and handrails on it. And you see the brake pipes at the back as well. So yeah, overall I'm really impressed with the locomotive and the rolling stock. Then moving on to the Bachmann controller. We've seen that running. It hasn't got a digital display, but I quite like the simplicity of it. You literally do just press the number that you've allocated to the locomotive. It is limited up to 10, because you can see up to 9 locomotives, because number 10's allocated for analog running of DC. I'll show you that in a minute. That doesn't really work that well, and I don't think that's a solution for running both at the same time. But yes, so you just press the number of the loco. This locomotive I reprogrammed to number 2 for 20, it's a class 20, and then it just runs straight away. You literally just turn the controller. If you want the sound functions, you literally press function button. The locomotive, that the function button is flashing, and then you can just press the buttons to sound. So number 1 turns the sound on, and you can hear in the background the locomotive starting. There's a full list of instructions that come with it that tells you the different sound functions. As you can see there, number 2 is actually a loco brake. So, you know, I was saying earlier that it free wheels quite a lot. Well, actually you can use that to brake the train as well, so it gives you a real driving effect. So I really like that, and I like the way it really handles completely differently to normal DC. That I wasn't expecting. Obviously I'd seen sound on YouTube and that, but yeah, the way it drives, it's a completely different driving experience. 3 and 4 are just horns, which you've heard. That one's a continuous, and that one's a thingy. Number 5 is I think drive hold, it says, so I think that allows you to independently do the throttle. Number 6 allows it to coast and have the throttle just down, so if it's got a large train, then you can keep the speed of the engine the same. Number 7, I think, and 8 are coupling sounds. And 8 is a brake vacuum. It says number 9 is a flange squeal, but that doesn't do a lot really. And that's probably leads me on to the biggest limitation of this controller. I can only do sort of 9 functions. I don't think number 10, I think number 10 doesn't do any sound noise. Whereas you can see even on this list for this controller, it's got 16 different functions, but I can only ever access the first 9. So for instance, the one I really can't do, I'd like to do, is a guard's whistle, which I can't do on this controller. So that's probably the biggest and probably the only negative I can think. I think it's supposed to be able to run 2 locos. I obviously tried that, 2 or 3, but that's probably all I need to run on this set. But I think for me the frustration is just not being able to access all the sound functions. And I've looked on the instructions, and I've looked online and on YouTube, and I think I'm not missing anything. I think it is limited to the 10 function buttons that you can see. I'm surprised that it isn't given an option to sort of go into double digits, but it doesn't appear to. So that's a shame. And then just going over to the box, like I say, it's quite an impressive setup. You get all the track as well, which is useful. So I think all in all, as a set, it's really good value for money. I think what it's shown to me is that DCC is very impressive and certainly something I want to explore more. I really do like the locomotives, the sound of them, and the control. It just controls so much more smoothly than DC, and so much more realistic. You know, the way that it glides on free wheels and slows down slowly and accelerates slowly. So I'm really impressed with that. It's a real different driving experience. So yeah, I think for me, I'm now going to have to look at how I can run DC, C and DC. As I was saying, on here it does have a number 10 which says analog only. I'll show you that in a minute. I'll take this train off and put the analog only, and we can give that a go and see how that works. But it makes a funny noise, so I'm a bit worried about the effect on the motor. So I'll just pause this and I'll come back in a second when I'm ready to run the DC on it. Okay, so I've now removed the Class 20 and the rolling stock from my outer line, which is the one wired up to the DCC Bachmann controller, and I've pressed the number 10 on the controller, so it should be for analog operation. So we're now going to try my little Hornby Terrier and see how that goes. On that. Okay, and as you can hear, hopefully, it's not making the healthiest of noises, but put the power on and it does run, and runs quite smoothly, to be honest. Turn it up a tiny little bit and you can just see it go. So it's running along there okay, but that noise that you can hear of the motor does worry me. Let's just try one of my older locomotives. Let's try the 08 and see how that does. And again, that's not making it's even making a louder noise. Yes, but again, it does work, and it's running quite smooth. But it doesn't sound to me that's doing that motor any good whatsoever. So yeah, I definitely won't be running my DC using the Bachmann controller on the function 10, which is supposed to be for analog. So I think I'm going to have to think of how I can incorporate both, maybe a switch across from them. I mean, I can literally just unplug and plug them in, I suppose, but that's not very convenient. So I'm going to have a bit more thinking about that. But all in all, I'm really pleased with the train set itself, the DCC sound set from TMC, and just blown away with the DCC sound and the operation of the DCC. As I said, it's just a completely different way of driving the trains. So I'll just finish now with some shots of my new Class 20 running around the track. And thanks everyone for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll speak to you again soon.